Hi there, very good evening and welcome to the news at 6 where we get you the day's top developing stories. I'm Tracy Shilchi and here are the headlines. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mufti Mohammed Sayeed passes away in Delhi. The state declares a 7-day mourning period. Flags are at half-mast. Leaders cutting across party lines pay rich tributes to the leader, say that he has left a void that will be difficult to fill. Government reaches out to the Congress once again on the GST bill, shows willingness to advance the budget session of Parliament. Chinese markets come crashing down soon after they open for the day. Trigger falls in other Asian markets as well. And the 15-member UN Security Council holds an emergency session on North Korea, pledged to pursue new sanctions. Top story today, Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mufti Mohammed Sayeed passed away today due to multiple organ failure at the AIIMS hospital in New Delhi. He was 79 years old. The Jammu and Kashmir government has declared a holiday on Thursday and of course a 7-day mourning period as well. Reports suggest that Mufti's daughter and the president of the People's Democratic Party, Mehbooba Mufti, is now likely to take over as the first woman chief minister of the state.
Tributes poured in from across the political spectrum for the J&K Chief Minister Mufti Mohammed Sayeed, a crafty politician who became the country's first Muslim Home Minister. He was admitted to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences on December 24th and was treated for a lung infection. He died due to multiple organ failure, aged 79.
निश्चित रूप से उन्होंने जम्मू कश्मीर के विकास के लिए बहुत काम किया और एक स्टेटमेंट्स के रूप में उन्होंने प्रदेश को आगे बढ़ाने का काम किया। ये दुखदाई खबर है, कुछ दिनों से वो बीमार चल रहे थे। मैं उनकी आत्मा को शांति मिले और परिवार को शक्ति मिले कि इस दुख भरी घटना को सह सके और उनकी आत्मा को शांति मिले।
The President, Vice President and Prime Minister expressed their heartfelt condolences on the passing away of the leader. In a condolence message to Mufti's daughter Mehbooba Mufti, President Pranab Mukherjee said that Mufti worked for the socio-political transformation and betterment of the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Vice President Mohammed Hamid Ansari also paid rich tributes to Mufti, saying that his death was an irreparable loss to the country. Condoling his death, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that his demise leaves a huge void in the nation and in J&K. Mufti's mortal remains have been flown back to Srinagar. They are kept at his official residence for the people to pay their last respects. Mufti's last rites will be performed at his ancestral village in Anantnag's Bijbehara in South Kashmir. The Jammu and Kashmir government has declared 7-day mourning as a mark of respect. Flags will be flown at half-mast during this time. He is the second J&K CM to die in office, the first one being Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah, who died on September 8, 1982. With the CM seat vacant now and Mufti's daughter and the president of People's Democratic Party, Mehbooba Mufti, is expected to take over as the next chief minister of J&K. If so, she will be the first woman chief minister of the state. PDP rules Jammu and Kashmir in alliance with the BJP. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, for more on the road ahead for the alliance in Jammu and Kashmir, we're joined by Shyam Sundar, a correspondent from the newsroom here. Shyam, we do understand that the PDP has written a letter to the BJP where it has, of course, expressed its willingness at making Mehbooba Mufti the next chief minister. Any problem that we'll be seeing on the front of BJP on that front?
Well, as far as Mehbooba Mufti is concerned, she is a member of parliament as present. She is member of Lok Sabha and she is not new to the politics. And in last assembly elections in Jammu and Kashmir, she was instrumental as far as strategy of PDP was concerned. She was groomed by her father, Mohammed Mufti Sayeed, and she is a seasoned politician that way. But she is seniority wise, if you look at her, she doesn't enjoy that kind of confidence as her father used to enjoy, because he was central minister at one point of time. He was the first Muslim home minister of the country, and after and in Jammu and Kashmir context also, he started his political career in the times of Sheikh Abdullah. So he was a very senior and tall leader of Jammu and Kashmir, and of course when he was leading the alliance, so he could have get his things done in the alliance. And we have to keep in the mind that BJP is of course a junior partner in Jammu and Kashmir in this alliance, but they have sizable seats in, and without BJP that alliance cannot work. And so BJP, of course at this point of time we don't see any kind of problem, but and the BJP would accept Mehbooba Mufti's leadership at this point of time, but the kind of weight PDP used to carry in Mufti Mohammed Sayeed's time, it would be difficult for PDP to get that kind of importance in the alliance in coming days.
Absolutely, absolutely. Some big shoes to fill in there, of course, of Mehbooba Mufti. Sham, continue staying with us since we are on this story, and we are talking, of course, of the tragic news that we heard this morning. And leaders are cutting across the political spectrum, paid rich tributes to the tall leader. We're talking, of course, of Mufti Sayeed, describing him as a statesman par excellence. Leader said that he has left a void that will be difficult to fill.
नहीं, भारत का एक बहुत बड़ा नेता रहे हैं, तो उसके लिए हम सब बहुत दुखी हैं।
जम्मू कश्मीर को भारत के साथ जोड़ने में, जम्मू कश्मीर में स्थिरता और शांति लाने में उन्होंने बहुत बड़ा योगदान दिया।
मैं ये कह सकता हूँ कि इससे और भी कोई अफसोसनाक बात हो नहीं सकती, बहुत ही शॉकिंग है।
तो एक बहुत ही अनुभवी नायक हमसे दूर हो गए हैं।
ऐसे समय में जब आतंकवाद अपना सर उठाए हुए लगातार अपने गंदी हरकतों में लगा हुआ है, मुफ्ती मोहम्मद सईद साहब का उठ जाना और नुकसानदेह है, क्षति हुई है हम लोगों को सबको।
मुफ्ती साहब के निधन से देश को बहुत बड़ी क्षति हुई है और व्यक्तिगत रूप से रामविलास पासवान और लोक जनशक्ति पार्टी को क्षति हुई है।
देश के प्रति हमेशा चिंता से और समस्याओं से वो पूरी तरह वाकिफ रहते थे। वो देश को भी पूरी तरह जानते थे और कश्मीर को भी पूरी तरह जानते थे।
अब ऐसे परिस्थिति में मुफ्ती साहब का रहना जो है और उनका पूरा अनुभव जो रहा है इतने सदियों से, उसका बहुत बड़ा फायदा होता है अपने मुल्क को।
वो ऐसा व्यक्ति थे कि विभिन्न किस्म के जो माइंडसेट वाले लोगों को कैरी करके पॉलिटिकल प्रोसेस में शामिल किया था।
सारे देश के लिए और खास करके जम्मू कश्मीर के लिए बहुत बड़ा नुकसान हुआ है,
क्योंकि मुफ्ती साहब ने कश्मीर की आवाम के लिए काम किया है और एक पार्टी वहां पर बनाई और उनका जो साबिका टेन्योर रहा है उसमें काफ़ी तरक्याती काम भी उन्होंने करवाए थे।
Well, of course, like we said, rich tributes coming in for the tall leader. But Sham Sundar still with us from the newsroom. Sham, we're also looking ahead at the alliance of the PDP and the BJP in Jammu and Kashmir. And we were talking, of course, about how if Mehbooba Mufti does emerge as the next chief minister of the state, which seems to be the most likelihood at this point of time, what kind of a challenge will she be facing, apart from just filling in those big shoes of a father, but also on the grassroots level? How difficult are things going to be for her to balance that alliance?
Well, we have seen after Jammu and Kashmir elections when no party got majority and there were talks of alliance between BJP and PDP. At that point of time, it was a big challenging question for PDP, and because Mr. Sayeed was a seasoned politician and he was a tall leader, so his decision was respected especially in the valley region where PDP has the strong presence and the mass base. So at this point of time, because we we understand that Jammu and Kashmir is very important as far as BJP's ideology is concerned. It is a question for ideology of BJP. So now BJP would try to dominate the alliance, and senior leader of BJP, Mr. Nirmal Singh, he is the Deputy Chief Minister. So for Mehbooba Mufti, biggest challenge is that she has to show the leadership qualities, and she has to show that she is running the government, and BJP is of course partner in the government, but not leading partner in the government. So that will be the biggest challenge, because perception is very, very important in the politics, and we know situations in Jammu and Kashmir is totally different. So for Mehbooba Mufti, biggest challenge would be that she is not only she is the Chief Minister, but she is actually leading the coalition government in Jammu and Kashmir.
Absolutely. And just talking about how crucial this will be for Mehbooba Mufti, you know, becoming the first woman CM of the state, you know, emerging in the past 2 decades along with her father as one of the biggest parties, really, apart from the National Conference as well. Just for her, you know, as far as her career is concerned, as far as her future is concerned, how crucial will this be, this post?
Well, definitely, she is going to be the first Chief Minister of in Jammu and Kashmir, and especially we know the kind of political situation and our social situation is there. So it will be a big task for her, and it's a big achievement also for her. But as far as Mehbooba Mufti is concerned, politics, as I was saying, that politics is not new to her. She always played an important role in PDP, and she was always by her father, whether it is election campaign or a party was on agitation route, and she represents party in parliament, and because in parliament PDP is not part of the NDA, and she sits with in opposition benches. Her party is in alliance with BJP in state, and she is opposing central's policy in parliament. So that way her training under her father is quite good, and so it should not be a very difficult task for her. But of course, she would be the first women chief minister, and how Kashmir would take it, we have to see.
Well, we do hope it will be with open arms, at least on that front. But of course, it eventually does come down to politics, and it does come down to how things are, of course, playing out in the state. And we do have seen, Shyam, in the past few months, especially right after taking over the government, you know, there were a lot of criticisms that came in saying that this particular government is being soft on separatists. And is that something that she will also have to be, you know, she will perhaps have to face, or would she take that with open arms?
Of course, that is the biggest challenge, and now because Mehbooba Mufti does not enjoy that kind of confidence as our father was enjoying in the valley, and as we were talking that PDP's mass base is in Kashmir Valley region, so they have to take care of their mass base and the issues and the concerns of the Kashmir Valley region, and their partner BJP, their mass base is mainly in Jammu region. So it is a very delicate balance which Mr. Sayeed was making in this alliance, and that is the challenge for Mehbooba, of course.
Absolutely. We'll leave it there for now. Shyam, thanks so much for joining us, and this is of course a story we'll be tracking in the days to come, the political developments on that front. But right now we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more national and international news. Stay with us.
Mufti Mohammed Sayeed, Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister, passes away. A man who'd headed some unusual political combinations. How will his passing affect the state and its politics? Watch The Big Picture at 6:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Now, in the face of the continuing stalemate on the GST bill, the government today reached out to the opposition Congress once again. Union Minister M. Venkaiah Naidu called on Congress Chief Sonia Gandhi, seeking her support for the bill's passage and expressing willingness to advance the Parliament's budget session in this regard. This is the second big outreach by the government to the top Congress leadership on GST. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had met Sonia Gandhi and his predecessor, Dr. Manmohan Singh, in November last year. After the meeting, Naidu said that he met Sonia Gandhi in his capacity as the Parliamentary Affairs Minister and that he asked the Congress President to take a final stand on the two pending bills related to GST and real estate. The meeting appeared to indicate that some middle ground is being worked out for the passage of the crucial and contentious GST bill.
Congress have raised 3 issues. Those issues have been addressed by the finance minister, has been communicated to the Congress party. So I suggested to the Congress president that they should discuss it and then get back to the government at Rajya so that we can move forward in the larger interests of country. The Congress president told me that they will discuss it among themselves.
We do not want to put any hurdles. We have made public what we consider to be reasonable issues that must be resolved before the GST is put in place. The 1% issue, the capping issue, and the dispute resolution issue. So they are not willing to compromise. और इसकी असलियत आपको बता दूं, उसका रीजन ये है कि स्वदेशी जागरण मंच और आरएसएस इसके खिलाफ है और आरोप कांग्रेस पार्टी पे लगा रहे हैं.
And now let's take you through what else made news across the country in nationwide. A combing operation is underway in and around the Tibri military cantonment area in Gurdaspur after some locals in a nearby village claimed the sighting of 2 men in army fatigues moving around in a suspicious manner. A close watch is being kept and thorough checking by security forces is underway. The 2 border districts of Gurdaspur and Pathankot are now on high alert. Gajendra Chauhan today assumed office as FTII chairman despite a large number of students staging a protest outside the campus. Police caned and detained at least 40 students. The FTII Students Association members gathered at the main gate of the institute, ignoring a warning issued yesterday by the police to maintain peace at the time of Chauhan's entry. The students are opposed to his appointment as chairman, alleging that he lacked the stature to head the institute. Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley held a pre-budget consultation meet with the representatives of the information and technology industry today. In the meeting, the IT industry sought parity of taxation with foreign investors as well as protection from imported goods. Jaitley had addressed several problems in this year's budget, with weakening rupee and manufacturing PMI hitting a 2-year low. And here's some good news for Mr. Jaitley. India, of course, will continue to be the bright spot of the global economy this year too. The World Bank has projected that Indian economy would grow at a robust 7.8% in the fiscal year 2016-17. Strong investor sentiment and the positive effect of the recent fall in oil prices will propel the growth engines of India.
The World Bank has given Indian economy reasons to cheer this year. In its report, Global Economic Prospects, the bank projected Indian economy to grow at 7.8% in 2016-17 and 7.9% in the next 2 years. It, however, marginally reduced India's growth rate by 0.2% in 2015 and 0.1% in both 2016 and 2017. Despite that, India continues to be the bright spot of the global economy. Meanwhile, the World Bank estimates that China grew at an estimated 6.9% in 2015 and is estimated to grow at 6.7% in 2016. The world economy as a whole would grow at 2.9%, it says, a modest upturn from 2.4% growth estimated for 2015. Industry captains feel that investment in infrastructure will augur well for the economic growth projections.
We have to develop the infra. These infra finance companies, they have built up an expertise over the years. So if they can be levered and they can be built up and supported, I think it can go a long way in building the infrastructure and bringing in investment in the sector.
World Bank also pointed out that India's currency and stock markets were largely resilient over the past year, even during bouts of volatility in the global financial markets. However, on the home turf, exporters have voiced concerns over the constant decline in exports and urged the government to remove bottlenecks.
Custom duty on the raw material should be reduced. Then there is no competition. It is very difficult for the manufacturer. So these irritants should be removed.
The World Bank expects Russia and Brazil to remain in recession in 2016, while Pakistan's economy is expected to grow at around 4.5%. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha Television.
But on to the expected strong global reactions to North Korea's claimed hydrogen bomb test. The United States, South Korea and Japan have agreed to launch a united and strong international response as experts scramble to find more details about the detonation that drew worldwide skepticism and condemnation. Here's a report.
The members of the Security Council held urgent consultations to address the serious situation arising from the nuclear test conducted by the DPKR on January 6, 2016. The members of the Security Council strongly condemned this test.
A day after North Korea tested a hydrogen bomb, the United Nations Security Council pledges to pursue new sanctions. The US, Japan and South Korea had called an emergency session of the Council on Wednesday.
This act is profoundly destabilizing for regional security and seriously undermines international non-proliferation efforts.
The White House called on North Korea to denuclearize while confirming China and the US were united in their rejection of North Korea as a nuclear state. North Korea on Wednesday bragged about what it called the spectacular success of its first ever hydrogen bomb test, with leader Kim Jong-un saying that it will make the world look up to his strong nuclear country. India expressed deep concern and stressed on North Korea's links with Pakistan, with reports suggesting that Pakistan provided much of the machinery to make the bomb.
Whatever this event was, whether it was a hydrogen bomb or something less than that, it all works towards their goal of making smaller, more efficient weapons that they can then put on top of missiles.
South Korea's presidential office announced on Wednesday that it will resume loudspeaker propaganda broadcasts towards North Korea at the inter-Korean border from Friday. North Korea conducted nuclear tests in 2006, 2009 and 2013. The hydrogen bomb test and threats of stronger sanctions threatens to further deepen its international isolation. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In other news, a plunge in Chinese stocks and a falling yuan sent Asian markets plunging on Thursday as worries intensified about the country's economy and whether authorities had lost their grip on the market. The newly launched mechanism, the circuit breaker, has triggered soon after the markets opened for the day. This is the second time this happened in a week. In fact, Thursday also marked the shortest trading day of the market's 25-year history. Indian markets too hit the Chinese wall and closed significantly lower.
Markets in China stopped trading just about 30 minutes after they opened today, when shares fell more than 7%, triggering an automatic circuit breaker. This is the second time this week that the newly installed mechanism to limit volatility has been triggered.
Well, I think the outlook is for the market to decline further because what happened this week, because of suspension, a lot of the sell orders have accumulated, especially in Asia. People wanting to sell.
The benchmark Shanghai Composite Index slumped 7.32% or 245.95 points. Pessimism spread quickly as the People's Bank of China devalued the yuan as well, setting the daily reference exchange rate against the US dollar 0.5% weaker compared with Wednesday's level. This is the largest adjustment of the yuan since August 2013. Experts feel that by letting the yuan depreciate, Beijing is hoping that a weaker currency would boost exports.
Chinese authorities are not able to handle the slowdown, which is more looking more profound in the Chinese economy, and they're letting yuan to devaluate so that exports may get a booster. This is what is markets are sensing, and simultaneously we are selling some kind of more selling coming in the commodities because the Chinese weakness shows that there would be a less demand for the commodities.
The panic triggered by the Chinese plunge reflected in the Indian markets too. The BSE benchmark Sensex plunged 554.50 points to close below the 25,000 level, while the Nifty cracked the 7,600 mark, falling 172.70 points to 7,568.30. The government, however, asserted that the Indian economy is well cushioned.
India is well cushioned. The resilience of our economy is inherent in our economy. We have the inherent resilience. We are well cushioned. India continues to be one of the fastest growing economies.
The tempest in China's markets reverberated around the world as well. Among the Asian stock markets, Japan's benchmark Nikkei 225 index fell 2.3%, South Korea's Kospi lost 1.1%, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng shed 3.1%. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
It's been a year since the horrific attack on the offices of Charlie Hebdo in Paris. A year ago on this day, 17 people were killed when gunmen opened fire at the office of their satirical magazine and a Jewish supermarket. Parisians laid flowers and lit candles at the attack site as a mark of respect for those who were killed. No official events are planned for the day, but France will hold a week-long activity to commemorate the victims of the attack. French President François Hollande is expected to announce more stringent laws for counter-terrorism operations. Meanwhile, the anniversary issue of Charlie Hebdo magazine has hit the shelves in France. And now let's get you some more international news updates in Global Buzz. Qatar has recalled its ambassador to Iran following the attacks on a Saudi embassy in the capital Tehran and on the general consulate in the northern city of Mashhad. Qatar thus became the 5th Gulf Cooperation Council member to recall its ambassador from the Iranian capital following the attacks. The GCC has condemned Iran's blatant interference in the domestic affairs of Gulf and Arab countries. Bangladesh's Jamaat-e-Islami Party has called for a countrywide strike tomorrow after the Supreme Court upheld the death penalty for its chief, Mutir Rahman Nizami, for arms trafficking and 1971 war crimes against humanity. It is the first strike called by the party after it lost registration amid calls for a ban. The special tribunal had last year said that the death would be the only fitting punishment for the horrendous crimes committed by Nizami. The International Committee of the Red Cross has warned that the situation in 3 besieged villages in Syria was extremely dire. Activists say that civilians have died because of a lack of food and medicine or died trying to escape in rebel-controlled Madaya. People are reportedly eating grass to survive in the government-held Foa and Kefraya in the northwest. At least 50 people were killed when a truck bomb targeted a police training center in the Libyan city of Zliten. Reports say that hundreds of recruits were outside performing morning exercises when the bomb exploded. Libya has been hit by instability since Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown in 2011, and there are rising concerns over the Islamic State militants gaining a foothold. Let's change tracks. Get you all the latest from the world of sports now in Sports Beat. Indian shooter Apurvi Chandela was named the shooter of the tournament after she won her second gold medal at the Swedish Cup Grand Prix. The 23-year-old's second goal came in the women's 10-meter air rifle tri-series event. She had won her first gold medal on Tuesday with the world record score of 211.2. Top seed Stanislas Wawrinka advanced to the quarterfinals of the Chennai Open after beating Russian teenager Andrei Rublev 6-3, 6-2. He will next face Spanish 5th-seeded Guillermo Garcia Lopez. Indian tennis ace Leander Paes and his Spanish teammate Marcel Granollers will play in the men's doubles quarterfinals later tonight. Hashim Amla resigned as South Africa captain after the Proteas drew the second test of the 4-match series against England. Despite his double 100 in the drawn test, Amla was under pressure after a lean run patch against the top-ranked team. Amla captained South Africa in 14 tests, winning 4 and drawing 6 and losing 4. ODI skipper A.B. de Villiers will take over now as captain for the remaining 2 tests. Lionel Messi scored twice as Barcelona came from behind to beat Espanyol in the first leg of the Copa del Rey pre-quarter-final match. Barca went behind the 9th minute, but Messi equalized and then put the Catalans ahead with a free kick. He also assisted the 2 other goals. The second leg of the tie will be played on the 13th of January. And that's it on the news at 6. Thanks so much for joining us.